What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Belair. This is season number 3, episode number 7, you guys. This episode was titled, what was the title of this episode, you guys? I didn't even get the title. The episode was titled Gimme, Gimme, a break. Now, before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and get into this episode of Bel Air, you guys, shall we? Now, this episode, it opens up and we see Will and Carlton. So Will and Carlton have some new merch and they are talking to Lamarcus and Hillary, right? So Lamarcus is home from the hospital. And so they're talking about this nurse that came into Lamarcus's room to give him a sponge bath. Turns out the nurse wasn't even a nurse at all. And I was like, I know you lying. So she wasn't a nurse at all. So then Lamarcus asked Will and Carlton to be his groomsmen, and they both agreed, right? Now, they also were talking to Hillary. So there's going to be an investors day where they're going to be presenting before the investors. And so they're preparing for that. They talked about business with Hillary, and she was like, she hasn't really done much with her business because she's been solely focused on Lamarcus, right? So after that, we see Uncle Phil I'm Viv and Will and Carlton were in the kitchen. So Uncle Phil came in talking about the arson and that there are no suspects, right? And he told them that Fred has gotten involved. And so Carlton was like, well, Will went down to where, Jazz's record store where Yolanda them were, right? Because Uncle Phil mentioned that Omar thinks Yolanda has something to do with it. And Will was trying to play it off like he don't know nothing. And Carlton was just looking at him. And so Will was like, oh, yeah. So I did go down there, but it wasn't really, they didn't really say much when I was there, right? So Jeffrey came in and told Uncle Phil that both Fred and Omar are at the house, right? So Uncle Phil asked Will to join him. So Fred is asking him, like, so how many people were there? He was like, it was a good amount of people there. So Fred asked him, like, was anyone, like angry? Did anyone, make threats of destroying property? And Will was like, no, people were just more so voicing their concerns about the changes in the neighborhood, right? And so Jeffrey came back in and told them, like, that there's a grocery store across the street that may have gotten something on the security cameras, right? So Will is freaking out. And Fred also told Will, like, if anything else comes up, just please let us know. So then we see Carlton. So Carlton is with Lisa, and Carlton has gotten Amira a gift for their 2-month anniversary. I was like, ooh, yikes. And so Lisa has this look on her face, and Carlton is like, what's going on? And Lisa told Carlton, like, I think this might be too soon for you. And so Carlton felt a way about that. And, she said, you know what, Carlton, I think that Amira would love it, right? So then we move over to Ashley and Eli. So they're hanging out. They're hanging out with each other, right? And I was looking at the little outfit that Ashley had on. I was like, she got a little midriff shirt on, a little midriff top with, a little short skirt, right? So Uncle Phil came in. I was like, Ashley, where are the rest of your clothes? Baby, Ashley would have got popped if it was me and anybody that I know because the way she talked to him, I was like, oh, look, girl, you don't lost your mind because who you talking to here? Who you talking to? So, because she said she don't dress for him, I was like, excuse you? You don't dress for him? which I know you don't. You don't dress for his comfort. I know you don't, but that's still your father, right? So he told Ashley to go change her clothes because he also said, I don't know who you think you're talking to, but yeah, go change them clothes, young lady. And so Ashley went to go change her clothes, and Viv came down, and so Uncle Phil was like, "When did Ashley get that mouth?" And what do we know about Eli? So Viv was like, "Phil, you did the same thing with Hillary." She said, "I'll be with them all day," and Eli has a boyfriend, right? So then we see Will. So Will went up to his room to call Jazz. He was freaking out and left a voicemail for him. And he also went and got that ski mask. And so Carlton came in, and Carlton was like, "Will, tell me what the hell is going on." And so Will told Carlton everything that happened. And Will is just saying that, you know, they started Black Sets to help the community. And he's telling Carlton like he feels like Carlton has already picked a side. And so he's picked a side as well. So Carlton was like, "Okay, well, either you tell my dad or I'm gonna tell him." And I just picked a side. I was like, "Ooh, I like this Carlton. I really do." And like he said to Will, he said it previously before to Will, that Will makes rash decisions and he doesn't think things through. And this is another example of one of those times where Will doesn't think things through. So we see as Aunt Viv is at the pool at the country club with both Eli and Ashley, right? But she spotted Lisa. So she went up to talk to Lisa, and Lisa's just telling her how she dropped her little brother off at the daycare. And when she was talking about how Angela is with the baby, I was like, that sounds like postpartum depression. And I Viv called it too because I was like, that literally sounds like the woman is experiencing postpartum depression. And so Aunt Viv told Lisa, like, if anytime you need, just drop him off at the house with us, and we'll watch him for you. And so Lisa also asked Aunt Viv, like, can you talk to my dad? And so after that, we see Will and Carlton. So the day before um the Investors Day, Q has gotten them all together, and he's just getting them into a workout spirit, right? And so we move back over to Eli and Ashley at the country club, right? So Eli and Ashley, they sitting on one of the lounge chairs, right? They taking little selfies, and Viv saw them, and she was like, I expected there to be a lot of people here today, but they're not. And so there are empty lounge chairs, basically saying, "Get y'all little asses out there lounge chair together." And Ashley was about to say, Ashley was finna say something, but Eli was like, "No, it's okay, I'll move." And so, you know, Aunt Viv was talking to Ashley, and she was like, "With you, Ashley, we just don't know, what's what, because we think you like girls, but now you're, you know, cuddled up with Eli." And Ashley just told her like, "You have nothing to worry about," right? So moving back over to Carlton and Will, there is so much pent up anger and aggression between these two. And there was a move that they were supposed to do, but Carlton just said "fuck the move" and literally just flipped Will onto a mat, and they got into it from there. And Q was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Is there something going on here that we should know about? Like, you don't want this all to come out tomorrow at Investors Day?" And they were like, "Nah, we good." I was like, "I hope y'all can get this shit together before tomorrow." So then we move over to Hillary and Lamarcus. So you guys remember, Hillary said that she hadn't taken the deal because of working with dealing with Lamarcus and everything that was going on with him. So we see them as she's sitting down with the person that she wants to work with for the business. But the woman is more so focused on Hillary and Lamarcus' wedding. She's even came up with a hashtag for him as well. And Hillary said, "That's not why I want to sit down with you." She said, the purpose of this meeting is literally to talk about cooking, my cookware, my cookbook. That's all I want to discuss." And she left it at that with that girl. And she was like, "You know what? I hear you. I'm going to go talk to our people." So then we see Uncle Phil and Omar. So they are talking to the investors. So the investors have some concerns when it comes to everything that is going on with the protesters, because the protesters have come outside of their businesses as well as their homes, and then everything that's going on with the arson and all that kind of stuff. The investors are just like, "Yo, we gotta renegotiate this contract, right?" So they presented Uncle Phil and Omar with a new proposal. And Uncle Phil says to the investors, he says, "So what if, we don't want to go through with this deal?" And the investor said, "Well, we'll just cut our losses." And then we move over to Aunt Viv. So Aunt Viv, she went to go see Fred, right? And she just told Fred, like, she's worried about Lisa. And the fact that when she had a conversation with Lisa about Angela, it sounded as if Angela has postpartum depression. And instead of him saying thank you, or you know what, I didn't see it that way, he flipped it and took it as a negative from Aunt Viv, and basically told Aunt Viv, "You worry about your family and I worry about mine." And she was like, "What the hell does that mean?" He said, "You know what? I gotta go." I was like, your wife has postpartum depression, and you're not the I think the thing with Fred is that the fact that you're working so much and that you're not there to help your wife, you're mad at yourself now for not seeing the signs. But it is what it is, right? So then we see Carlton. So he's talking to Will, and Will, they're supposed to be going over their pitch for the investors, right? And so Carlton let Will know that when it comes down to Omar's business, that the investors want to pull out. And Will was like, "Oh shit, I need to go tell Uncle Phil." And Carlton was like, "No, me and you, we need to perfect this pitch. And we need to go out there tomorrow and and score, right? And then after that, then you tell my dad." So then we see Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil, they're talking, right? And Uncle Phil is with Omar. He's a little bit nervous, right? Because he's placed his whole company on this thing with Omar, but he doesn't necessarily agree with it anymore, right? And so from there, Viv was like, "You're gonna do what's best for you and the company." She also told him about the conversation with Fred, and how Fred mostly saw it as criticism, which, telling somebody that your wife has postpartum depression, I just don't understand how you can take that as any kind of criticism. It's interesting to me, but it is what it is, right? So let's go ahead and move forward. So we see Will and Lisa. So they're at the country club, right? So Lisa thanked Will for having a conversation with Anvil for her. And he's like, "Yeah, I just want to, stick to what I said, checking in on you, right?" So then she also told him about finding the drugs that Amira had, right? And she's like, the reason why she couldn't tell Carlton is because she know to break Carlton's heart. I get that it would break Carlton's heart, but Carlton deserves to know the truth about Amira. Like, the thing that I will say is I don't like the fact that they treat Carlton like he's a fragile little wallflower. I don't like that. I get it. You are worried that this could be a potential setback for Carlton, and Carlton can go back to his vices, right? I get that. But from what we've saw in these last 8 episodes of Carlton, Carlton has been doing good. He's been on the up and up. So I don't think that we necessarily have to worry about Carlton, because Carlton is the one that's calling everybody out on the shit, and I'm here for it. I'm loving the Carlton that we're getting this season. I like the way that they wrote Carlton. Um, but Will told Lisa that they would both tell Carlton together, and I was like, "No, I don't know if that's gonna go over well, but we will see how it goes once we get to it." All right, you guys. So next up, we see Uncle Phil and Omar. So Omar and Uncle Phil are talking about the deal from the investors. Now, it seemed from listening to Uncle Phil talk to Omar, Uncle Phil is suggesting to Omar not to sign the deal, right? But because he's telling him what is written in the contract, because He's giving little he's giving little notes about what's in the deal. And so from listening to Uncle Phil, it's like he's telling him, advising his client not to sign the deal. But Omar is like, it looks good to him. And so Uncle Phil was like, you know what, Omar, if it looks good to you, then that means that basically this relationship is over. And so he said, I knew you weren't ready for this. It was like, oh, fuck you too, sir. So Amira saw Will at the country club, right? And she went up to Will saying, asking him where Carlton was because she said that she wanted to wish Carlton luck. And Will was like, when it comes to Carlton, maybe it's the best thing for Carlton to just focus on, his on his pitch. And so Amira Will walked away from Amira. She's like, there you go, Will, walking away. I was like, Amira, don't poke the bear. And she kept poking. I was like, oh, you finna get the real deal from Will this time. And so Will basically let her know, like, I talked to Lisa. Lisa let me know that she found drugs in your bag. And he wanted to tell he was like, Lisa and I don't want to tell Carlton, so you should do it, right? And Amira was like, if you so basically like if you so big and bad, why don't you tell Carlton? And who do you think Carlton will believe? Me or you? I was like, girl, this ain't like that's your husband or nothing like that. So you can't come with the who do you think Will is gonna believe? Me, I mean Carlton's gonna believe me or you. That's his cousin. Granted, they have their moments where they fight with each other, but at the end of the day, that's still his cousin. And I would hope Carlton would believe his cousin over a girl that he just met a few months ago in rehab. But neither here nor there. So we move back over to Eli, has a beautiful singing voice, by the way. He wrote a little song, and Ashley asked him who was the guy that is for. I was like, Ashley, baby girl, it ain't for a boy. It's actually for you. So I'm assuming, oh God, let me not assume. Because I was about to say, I'm assuming that he is bisexual. Because Viv earlier said he had a boyfriend, but that's an assumption. So I don't know what Eli is, because they actually just added a new letter to the LGBT. They added a new thing that I just saw last weekend, and I was like, last week or either this week or last weekend, they added a new letter, and I didn't understand it. But neither here nor there, right? So he could be bisexual, pansexual. He could be something. I don't know what he is. Oh wait, that's right. He's non-binary too. Damn. Damn it. Eli is non-binary, so I don't. So I guess. Well, Eli's pronouns are he and they, right? Is that what Ashley said? Now, let's keep going because I'm about to go down a rabbit hole that I don't understand, but neither here nor there, right? So we get to Investors Day. Will made it, and Carlton was freaking out. But then he started looking for Amira. He said because Amira was going to come and see him, and the look on Will's face like, she ain't coming to see you no time soon, buddy. And Will couldn't tell him. So Amira, popped up on Lisa and was pissed off at Lisa, talking about you snitched on me to your boyfriend and saying that she can't lose Carlton. That's that codependency stuff. And I was thinking that the codependency stuff was more so for Carlton, but it's not for Carlton. The codependency is Amira. It's Amira. But I've had my good eye on Amira since we met her this season, and I did not think she was good for Carlton, and I still don't think she's good for Carlton, right? So Hillary got to the house, and there's some rose petals in the shape of a heart there, and some candles lit all over. And so Lamarcus comes out, and Lamarcus serenades her to "Let's Get Married" by Jagged Edge. It was like I was like, okay, cool. I liked it. I liked it. So oh wow. Oh, sorry, you guys. So I'm looking. you guys know that if you guys watch the episodes, at the end of the episodes, they always have where you can buy stuff from the episodes, and they got a lot of nice stuff from the show, and they're very reasonable. Like they're pretty reasonably priced, right? Pretty reasonably priced. I'm gonna buy some of this stuff. Some of it's sold out, but I'm gonna buy some of this shit that they got on this website on my next paycheck. Hopefully, it ain't all sold out by the next paycheck, but I'm gonna buy some of this stuff. I am gonna buy some of this stuff. Um, I done got off track. My bad. I wasn't really trying to get off track like that. One really trying to get off track like that. But yeah, Lamarcus asked Hillary to marry him, and she said, "I already said yes." He was like, "Yeah, you did," but he's asking her to get married right then. Well, not right then. He's asking her to get married in a month and to do it in Martha's Vineyard. So Hillary agreed, and so looks like Hillary and Lamarcus are on their way down the aisle. I don't see it happening. I don't really see it happening. I don't. I foresee her getting back with Jazz. Those are my thoughts and opinions, but I definitely would love to hear what you guys think and feel. And so the end of the episode, we're getting toward the end of the episode now. Jeffrey went to go to see Uncle Phil, right? And he was telling him that there's been a development in the arson, and Uncle Phil was like, "Well, Phil is not Phil, but Omar is not my client anymore." He was like, "But you would be interested in this," and he let him know that there was an arrest in the arson, and it was none other than Jazz. I was like, "Oh fuck, Jazz got wait a minute." Oh, that's right. Jazz did pull off his ski mask. That is right. He did pull his mask off when that boy set fire to the set fire. Jazz pulled his ski mask off. I was like, fuck. So then we see oh you guys, I skipped over a whole part. Carlton and Will doing a pitch. Will came out at first because Lisa called Will, and then he sent the voicemail. So then she texts him asking him, well, what did he say to Amira? Carlton saw the message and said, yeah, what the fuck did you say to Amira? So Will let Carlton know that, Lisa found the drugs on Amira, and Carlton, he was frozen for a little bit. Will went out to do the pitch. He bombed at first, but then Carlton came out, saved them, and so they did good with the pitch. And then after that, we move back to Carlton. So Carlton is calling and checking on Amira, right? Amira wasn't answering the phone for Carlton. She also wasn't answering the phone for Lisa. And Carlton remembered Lisa that Amira sharing her location with him. So they found Amira at the pool, and she fell into the pool. She was submerged in the pool under the water, and so they got her out. They were able to revive her, but they did find that she had taken some drugs. And I was like, "Ooh, girl, this is why I said you were not good for Carlton. Nothing personal against you, baby girl, but you just wasn't good for Carlton." That is the episode, you guys. So next week is the finale. So we got next week. So episodes 9 and 10 is next week. Next weekend is going to be a busy weekend because Power is back next Friday, but that'll be up next. That video will be up next Sunday, so it's not like I'm gonna be trying to get that up next Friday at all. So yeah, but yeah, you guys, that was episode 8 of Belair. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video. Until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.